Today we're going to take a look at our OpenXDR platform for data ingestion from cloud and SaaS application. Specifically, we will look at data ingestion from Microsoft 365. Just to give you a quick overview, we're looking at our data processors dashboard here. The idea for the dashboard is to give you the most critical events that are happening in your network for the time period that's selected. One of the key components for the Stellar Cyber solution is the ability to collect data from everywhere within your network. If we take a look at our data collection piece here, we can collect data from networks, we can collect data from syslogs, we can collect data from virtual environments, we can also collect data from cloud environments, as you can see here, AWS, Office 365, Google Suite, and Okta. Let's take a look at a quick configuration here for Office 365. With Office 365, you can see I've got a couple of them already predefined here. And if I take a look at the configuration, I'm simply importing the configurations from my Microsoft 365, but I've also got some variables. So I can select which content type I want to ingest from Microsoft 365. Okay? Once I've collected data, I've got various pre-configured security detections. Some of the detections actually line to our cybersecurity kill chain. Let's take a look at the Reconnaissance Stage. In the Reconnaissance Stage, I've got user login failure anomalies that I'm looking for in Microsoft 365. What this has to do with, I've got many login failures in Microsoft 365, but what I'm looking for are those brute forcers. I don't really care for those guys who have a one or two username and valid. I want to identify the brute forces, and this is the machine learning of the platform doing this for us. Let's take a look at another detection and scroll over to the end of the cybersecurity kill chain. This is my actions and exfiltration stage. Some of the detections I have here is bad reputation login. I've also got what ties in with my user login failure is a brute force successful user login. This is someone tried to brute force their way in, having many login failures, and eventually they did log in. So this is a detection for that, for brute force successful logins from Microsoft 365. We've also got user behavior analytics that we apply to the logs from Microsoft 365. If we take a look at here, I've got some detections. One of the detections happens to be a login time anomaly. Generally, we have these user logging in from 9 to 5. Today, this particular user logged in at 2 a.m. So machine learning and user behavior analytics has identified that this is a login time anomaly. That's just one example here. We've also got detections in our network traffic analysis for Microsoft 365. Here, I've got a detection for data ingestion anomaly. This is an anomalous amount of data ingestion for a particular user. So these are static detections that we have part of the platform to look for anomalies or security events within Microsoft 365. The next stage is investigate. Under investigate, we have threat hunting. Threat hunting allows you to go and look for specific events that are relevant to your network. So here you can see I changed the index to Windows events. I can now search for anything. Let's just search for Office 365 here. I can put an and here and do a specific search. But let's just search for Office 365 to give you a quick example. You can quickly see I got results for Office 365 as a search query. If I take a look at the event, what I want to show in the event is what we now have is a normalized interflow record. So whether it's Office 365 events, their network events, or syslog events, I've normalized it and created metadata. And all of the logs now look identical no matter what the source was. So you can see how rich this particular event is. From here, I can take actions. I can go ahead and say, hey, I want to send, I realize this is a critical event. Maybe I want to trigger an email to send a message to my ticketing system to open up a ticket. What I'm also doing is enriching this data. You can see I found geolocation. I've also have a reputation. The reputation for this particular IP address is good. But if he was known to be a brute forcer, this would say reputation brute forcer. So this is investigating data relevant to your network. The last piece I want to show is automation. The investigate piece, you would manually have to go in there and search those queries day to day or every few hours. We can automate this whole thing. So our automation piece allows you to create a playbook. I've also got some predefined templates, and one of the templates happens to be Office 365. We're going to look at Office 365 events. So I can define a query or take the pre-configured query. Once I have a result, so what this is doing is a playbook that says within my Office 365 events, every 5 minutes, run this query. If I have a result, go ahead and send an email message to someone, or you can actually even create a custom security event for the dashboard. So I've got a query that I'm looking for within Microsoft 365, and I'm creating a security event. So here you can see I can create a security event. I can set the severity, the fidelity, and the category. And now what this will do is automatically generate a custom security event for a query that I ran. The last piece I want to show is reporting. We've now identified security events in your Microsoft 365 environment. Let's click on reports. I want to here generate a simple pre-can report for security events. So I click on security events, and you can see I've got my top security events, my critical events, and so on and so forth. You can take this report and now schedule it and send it to who it needs to go to. Thank you for your time.